Hey, Yusuf, good to see you again.
Hey, Steve. Always a pleasure. How are you getting on?
Oh, great, great, great. We're here again to excitedly share our update with the world. The Teckel app version 2.0 is now available on the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store. And so we wanted to highlight one of the MCP tools that we've installed. It's a navigation toolkit, and it's specifically focused on general aviation navigation and pre-flight planning. And so I'm excited to share that with everybody today, Yus. And anyway, I do want to point out something about the Teckel app, which I think is unique, and that is that it provides amazing anonymity because we're using the Ethereum address system. You can basically interact with all the LLMs in an anonymous way, and also do, of course, Teckel Talk, which we've talked about on a prior video, in an anonymous way. And so I think that sets us apart from a lot of apps out there. We don't obviously collect email addresses or phone numbers, and everything's encrypted, of course. So anyway, at least on the Teckel Talk, of course, with the LLMs, you're sharing information with the LLMs. But I just wanted to kind of point that out. But anyway, Yus, why don't we get into this navigation toolkit?
Yeah, I think it's worth just giving a quick introduction to the whole MCP toolkit business. The LLMs have revolutionized the ability to interact with the machines. They understand with a small u, natural language. They can process natural language, and they can appear to be convincing in terms of their ability to understand us. But they're woefully inadequate at doing many tasks, as we know from the various tests we've done over the months and years. So the great thing about MCP, the MCP protocol, is it allows you to harness the natural language processing capability of the LLMs, the large language models, to prepare arguments or function method parameters for what I'd call old school algorithms. And a great example is the visual flight rule flight navigation planning, because the algorithms to do that, they're well established. They don't need AI. They just need to be properly and precisely implemented. The velocity triangle for wind correction and all the atmospheric calculations for weather, those don't need AI. But the great thing is to combine them with the AI to basically make it easy to ask the machine to do these plans and these calculations for you. And that's what we want to demonstrate. So it's close to my heart. As you know, I was taught to fly in the Royal Air Force. I still fly as a hobby, and I'm always flight planning. But I should say the Teckel app isn't designed to be an in-cockpit flight avionics tool. It's not a real-time navigator. So you should obviously use your avionics equipment for that, or your certified equipment for that. But what the Teckel app allows you to do is pre-flight plan, so that you can get an assessment of the basic parameters of a given flight, given the current weather, that will help you decide whether, for example, you should even do the flight. Maybe the wind is too strong and you shouldn't waste the fuel. So we've built the MCP toolkit with general aviation in mind, to be able to perform that kind of computation really smoothly and quickly. So let's just get straight in. So this is the Teckel app version 2. It lands you straight into Teckel AI page, which we're showing there. The first thing you do is choose an LLM. So I would choose Gemini. And I would also point out, you'll see the little plus signs against 3 of those LLMs. Those are the ones, the families of LLMs that support MCP tools. The other 2, Perplexity and DeepSeek, do not. So if you want to use the Teckel tools, use one of those 3. So let's just use Gemini. And now you can create your prompt from scratch, but it's much easier just to use one of the pre-cooked ones that we've prepared for you. So the Teckel prompt gallery is a set of curated prompts covering all different subject areas, including general aviation, that you can use or adapt as you see fit very easily. So let's go to general aviation. Let's scroll down a bit, Steve. And the prompt I want to look at is one of the VFR flight nav planning. The next one down. Next one. Yeah, that one there. That one. And the reason why I like that one is because it harks back to a flight that you and I did, Steve, back when we were at Stanford. We rented a small aircraft from Palo Alto Airport, and we flew over Stanford, and we landed at Half Moon Bay, and we came back again. So what we're asking here is, let me see, okay, perform the flight route calculations for a VFR flight from Palo Alto Airport, California to Half Moon Bay Airport, California with an intermediate waypoint overflying Stanford University. The indicated airspeed will be 100 knots, altitude 3,000 feet, departing Palo Alto 2 hours from now. Please provide the details for the navigation log and a SkyVector URL. We'll talk about SkyVector in a second. Also, please provide information on hotels within 10 miles of Half Moon Bay Airport. This is a very useful thing to be able to do, because quite often when you're flying a general aviation aircraft, you're going basically on a jolly and you want a restaurant at the other end or maybe a hotel to stay. And it's just great to be able to ask the LLM to send these kind of commands all in one natural prompt, the way you would think about it in your head. So the easiest way to get the LLM to respond to this is to double click in that gallery on the one of choice. There we go. And you'll see in the bottom of the screen there, the prompt is ready to be sent to the LLMs. We've chosen an LLM. The prompt's been ready to be sent. So just hit that little arrow to the right, and there it goes. We've sent that prompt to the LLM. There's a warning there, don't navigate away. This is mostly for when you've got multiple LLMs in a crosstalk conversation. If you navigate away, you can interrupt the flow of the multi-LLM conversation. So you can just sit and wait. So there we go. I would just select to keep waiting, and we'll wait for those results to come back. So what's happening right now is the LLM is packaging up all that information from that prompt request into the function calls on the MCP tools to actually perform the computations. So it will take a couple of minutes typically, because there's quite a lot it has to do. It has to go and find the actual airport, the ICAO designators for those airports, and then it has to find the weather in order to perform the wind calculations, and then it has to go and look up the hotels that we've asked it to look up. So that's quite a lot of analysis and searching that the LLM has to do. While it's going, I would say that this is not free, because when you use the Teckel app, you're using the LLMs in a third-party API mode, and we at Teckel, we have to pay for that. It's not free to us, so we pass that cost on. And likewise, there are additional functions that we use. For example, the reverse geocoding from Google in order to look up airport codes and the like. That's also charged to us, so we pass that cost on. But it's very modest, and we'll talk about the actual dollar price when the computation finishes. It will be displayed at the top of the screen. As well as this toolkit, Steve, while it's going, we can talk about the other Teckel toolkits. We have the Ethereum toolkit that allows you to query the Ethereum blockchain if that is something you're interested in. And we're working on a set of creative tools for video and audio processing, all from within Teckel. There we go. There's the results. So let's have a look at what it's come up with. So there we go. This was Model Gemini 3 Flash Preview. It's performed the computation. It's found the designators, Kilo Papa Alpha Oscar for Palo Alto and Kilo Hotel Alpha Foxtrot for Half Moon Bay. It's put in the intermediate waypoint over Stanford, and it's computed everything. So there you go. The total distance is 19.6 nautical miles. The flight time, 11.5 minutes, 1.53 units of fuel consumed. We'll talk about SkyVector in a second. You're scrolling down further, you can see it prepares the navigation log or the nav log. It breaks it up into the different legs. Leg 1 from Palo Alto to Stanford, showing you all the computations for that, and leg 2 from Stanford to Half Moon Bay. It also gives you all of the airport information, elevation, runway directions, and frequencies for both the origin and destination. But just like I said at the beginning, you wouldn't use this without checking with the official sources, official up-to-date avionics packages to get the actual frequencies. And now you can see the hotels. It's actually found quite a few for us within the 10 miles of Half Moon Bay that we asked for. So there you go. It's a very complete set of information, and there's actually quite a bit more information that's available from the results. You can get the detailed weather, aviation weather in the area forecasts and the actual weather, and you can get density altitude, you can get crosswind and headwind information for all the runways. You can get lighting information. Will you be suffering from glare on arrival? Will the sun be in your eyes? These are all very useful things to general aviation pilots. Let's have a quick look at the SkyVector URL. SkyVector is a free piece of software that allows you to visualize and plan flight routes on an aviation-specific map. So if we zoom in, we should see the actual flight route for that computation. So there we go. It's the pink line. It's coming into view now. So if you just zoom in a little bit further, you'll see that the SkyVector route takes us from Palo Alto to the. If you stop there, please, Steve. Yeah, but maybe just one more zoom factor. So Palo Alto is to the right of the screen. We go southwest roughly to Stanford, and then we go northwest to Half Moon Bay. So the other nice thing about the SkyVector export is from within SkyVector, you can further export to other avionics packages, popular ones like Garmin Pilot and ForeFlight and the like. So really, this is just a demonstration of how Teckel, with its MCP-enabled LLMs, gives you a very convenient and effortless way, really, to analyze such things like VFR flight routes. You can also get it to give you the weather. You can also get it to give you all the lighting conditions, and not just flying. You can ask it driving distances. It wraps all the Google mapping for driving computations. So I think that's a pretty good introduction to the use of the MCP tool for VFR flight navigation. Now, that was a fairly straightforward challenge. The only real thinking it had to do was to determine the latitude and longitude for Stanford. We just gave it a natural language description of Stanford being a waypoint. It had to go and actually figure out where Stanford was and then calculate the spherical or ellipsoidal trigonometry for the leg computations. But you've got an example here, Steve, that will not run now, but you'll discuss it. And this is where you've added more mathematical constraints to the problem. And the LLM was able to handle this without difficulty. So maybe you can explain what this one's about.
Sure, Yusuf, thanks. Yeah, this was just a fun thing I made up. And I said, please create a VFR, visual flight rules only flight plan for a small Cessna with a 300 nautical mile range, only landing at airports with avgas, departing tomorrow morning from Yucca Valley, California, with final destination of MIA, which is Miami, Florida International Airport. Avoid any overwater routes greater than 50 nautical miles. Maximum ceiling is 9,000 feet. Require at least 1 hour of sunlight left in the day upon landing at any waypoint, including the destination. List at least 3 available lodging accommodations within a 5-mile radius of any waypoint. Include a detailed itinerary to minimize total travel time. Include a SkyVector URL. And I won't go through here and read this whole report, but it's quite detailed. It gives you, all the airport codes. It gives you all the distances, of course, the times of arrival, destination times, departure times. It gives you, of course, the hotels at every waypoint. and it's of course minimizing the distance and the time, and it's living within those constraints. It's making sure that it's landing at these waypoints at these airports within a time frame such that there's at least an hour of sunlight left by the when you arrive, which is really fantastic. And then the other thing is, of course, it's constraining the route by making sure that it's not going over the Gulf of Mexico more than 50 nautical miles. And so I'll show you that on the SkyVector. It's really interesting. Anyway, so this is a long, detailed report, and I think we posted this actually as a downloadable PDF on our website, Teckel.io. So if anybody wants to actually read this, they can go to Teckel.io and navigate over to the MCP tab. But yeah, so let me show you this. Let's see, the SkyVector on that one. Let's see. Here it is. So here it is. You can see this SkyVector, and you can see how it kind of hugs the southern coastline of the United States there around the Gulf of Mexico. And if you zoom in, you'll see it actually does traverse a little bit over the water, but it makes sure that any of these legs are less than 50 nautical miles over the water. So it's just kind of, basically going over the intercoastal waterway here along the southern United States. And you can see if you zoom in here, it's going over the water, but it's just making sure it's less than 50 nautical miles. So that's just an illustration of the power of this MCP tool that we've got plugged into the Teckel app. For any pilots out there, it's a great pre-planning tool. It just saves a lot of research and time. Again, it's not a substitute, like Yusuf said, for actual avionics equipment, but it really is a great planning tool. So just wanted to point that out. Of course, Yusuf, thanks a lot. And getting back here to the app, I wanted to just also quickly show everybody that on this version of the app, we've included a voice agent. It's kind of a helpful agent. If you want to, instead of type all this sort of stuff in, you can just talk it into the voice agent. The voice agent has access to all the Teckel toolkits, the MCP tools. So if you just click this brown button here at the top, it'll open up another window, and then you just hit that connect button there, and then it'll connect to Teckel, which is a voice agent.
Hi, I'm Teckel. Ask me anything.
So I won't ask it questions right now, but I just wanted to kind of point that out. And also, like Yusuf was saying, we have to pass on the cost to these that we incur on these LLMs. In this case, here's the example. You can see my current balance of Teckel credits is, I don't know what that number is, about 18 million or something Teckel credits, which is equivalent right now for about $50. And this report right here costs approximately 8 cents. So that was the cost. This little indicator here shows what it was. And if you scroll down to the bottom here, you can actually, maybe not, yeah, here we go. You can see right here, this call input output. These are the actual LLM token counts right here. So this was I think, Yusuf, this is the input, right, token count, and that's the output token count.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. And those are applied against the published prices for these specific models.
That's right. So those are shown on every chat, every response, and then you can see it in real time deducting from your balance here. And then, of course, this is just the actual cost of this particular chat, which is, like I said, roughly about 8 cents US dollars. All right, so I think that pretty much wraps up everything. We still have Teckel Talk in this version of the app. If you wanted to access Teckel Talk, you can just click this little chat icon up here, and it'll launch you right into Teckel Talk, which is, of course, the anonymous end-to-end encrypted chat. Anyway, that's about it. Yusuf, you want to say anything?
No, I think that's great, Steve. So I think just in closing, we'd recommend that people try it out. The app's available in both app stores, and see what you think. And if you're a pilot, hopefully you'll find this really useful, as I do. I use it for my weather checking. I use it for my basic flight planning understanding distances and where I might want to go. So please give it a go, and I hope you enjoy it. And in a future podcast, we'll talk about some of the other MCP tools in more detail, particularly the creative ones that we're very excited about, the video and audio and image manipulation and generation tools. So thank you very much, Steve. And
Yusuf, I wanted to also, you're welcome, of course. And I forgot, I wanted to say one other thing. If you wanted to save this either the prompt here, you can always just tap this, and it brings up a window here where you can copy the content to your prompt library or to a clipboard. So there's some easy tools, or user interface tools that you can use. Also, there's this icon right here. You can tap on that, and that will export the whole transcript out to, say, an email address. If you say, for example, send it to Gmail, and you could send a Gmail and send the whole transcript as a text document right there. So I just wanted to kind of point that out. And then
I would just say, related to that, Steve, the voice agent actually has full transcripts available as well within IPFS. So if you select that in the app settings, every voice session, you can get the audio transcript as well as the text transcript from the audio conversation, which is another way of reviewing your interaction with the LLMs.
Yeah, and then of course on the LLMs themselves, we showed that we have these 5 LLMs that we're working with, but specifically if you wanted to set the particular change the actual particular LLM in any of the families, you can, in this case, say click here on Gemini, and then you can choose, like right now we have Gemini 3 Flash Preview chosen here, you can see, but you can choose different ones like Gemini 3 Pro Preview and so on and so forth. And then of course there are more settings even here with token settings and all that sort of thing. We won't get into that right now.
Okay.
All right, Yus. Great seeing you.
See you next time, Steve. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.